Kill that Bill! Kill that Bill! Michael from Cafe Lockdown. We're here at the Great March. We don't know how many people we got, but it looks like a lot. Can I ask, have you always been religious, or is it coming out more now?
Coming out more now, the
Because
last 2 years.
You think, can we do an interview? You think this is a spiritual war?
I absolutely do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what was your upbringing were you Catholic?
I was atheist.
Oh, so your whole life you've been atheist?
Atheist all the time, yeah.
And
now
you're holding up...
Now I'm holding up the sign. This is my first time here.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I came from Ballarat. And
congratulations.
Yeah,
wow, well done.
And I was very emotional coming up here.
Yeah.
Came up with my best friend Nellie. Turn that around. 000 police dispatcher.
You were a dispatcher?
As well, yeah.
Do you want to speak?
All of these. Go Nellie.
You were a police dispatcher?
Police dispatcher, 000, 15 years, been stood down.
It's simply because you've got integrity and you don't want to take this thing?
Correct. I think that the jab is dangerous. People should not be taking, and they definitely should not be taking the booster. They are compromising their immune systems. The government is trying to control us, and it is dangerous. We all need to say no to QR codes, to boosters, to getting the jab, to people being segregated by society. Because
so you're not convinced this is about health?
It is not about health at all. This is about control, and it's about money. And neither of them are in our best interests.
Yeah.
So this is what all the people are here today for. They're standing up for their families, their jobs, and their children. So please, everybody.
Can I ask, when you were doing your job, how many calls would you take a day?
There's about, 200 a day? Yeah, up to 200 a day per individual on a busy day.
So 200 a day, and now they need someone else, so there's 200 calls that could go waiting.
000 is in trouble in relation to how short they are on personnel, and as is every emergency service. You know, they're laying people off when they need people in those seats. And unfortunately, you know, they're making do, and calls are getting unanswered, and things are happening in the community that shouldn't be happening.
And how does that help our culture?
It's dangerous for our culture. People are suffering because of it.
Yeah.
You know, and the police are being put under pressure, unfortunately being used as the long arm of the Dan Andrews law.
Yeah.
In a negative aspect. You know, the police should be out there policing the community, not trying to control Dan Andrews' policies, these unfair mandates.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking.
Pleasure. All the best. Have a great day.
Woo. Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody like to speak and just say why you're here?
Michael, you're wonderful.
Hey, would you like to speak to why you're here?
Yeah, absolutely. We want our freedoms back. We're not asking for them back, we're demanding them back. They're ours and it's not negotiable. So you can take it to where the hell you came from. Done.
Can you remember when they actually decided to take our freedoms?
Geez, I tell you what, let's go back. 1973, Gough Whitlam, that criminal, changed the Constitution without taking to the referendum. The people decide. Nobody gets to change the Constitution without we, the people, making that decision. It's our choice. This is our country, and we make that say. Done.
I love it. I love it. Look at that.
Esther for Premier.
What's your name?
Esther.
Esther. Love it. I love it.
Keep going, keep going. Oh,
You want to speak?
we're here for our kids. We're here for what's right. We should not be coerced into taking a medical drug that's a trial medication. Everyone should be free. Some of us have conditions. What's wrong? What's going on with this world? We're here to do the right thing. Let's just move on.
Can you believe this is Australia?
Can anyone believe what's happening to Australia?
We're fighting for this now in our country.
We certainly are. And for our kids and for our grandkids.
It's good that you're here, man.
Absolutely.
You want to speak?
I'm here because I want the world to be a better place. Go back to normal. I was happy back then.
Yeah,
you know?
in the pre-COVID Australia.
Exactly. I was happy back then, and I want it to go back to that.
So you're not looking forward to apartheid and mandatory jabs and hate?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want that for me or my family, or my siblings, or my friends. No, thank you. I've had too many of my friends get the jab, and it's way too scary every time someone new gets it. No, thank you.
Well, they got 14 waiting for you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I don't want one of them. I want them all to be flushed down the toilet. No, thank you. I don't want them in me.
That's great. Thanks for coming to the march.
Thank you for interviewing me. I'm here because I want to stop the mandates and people losing their jobs. I'm here for everyone, all of us Aussies, and my family and friends.
Yeah.
And we're also here to save our future generations. Save our future. The freedoms we lose today, our kids aren't going to have it.
And have you been to many marches before?
Pardon?
You've been to many of these marches before?
This is my second one. It's my third one.
Your third one? Oh, you're becoming a...
Yeah, I try and make it, and if I'm not, I'm on the lives and I'm coordinating people or chatting or spreading more good news.
Yeah, have you lost your job at all?
Yes, I did. I got fired.
What do you do? What did you do?
I didn't disclose my private information.
Oh, no worries, no worries.
So,
no worries.
Thank you, you're doing a good job.
Cheers, baby.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Have a good day.
See ya. Anyone like to speak about why they're here?
I'm here to help save my grandchildren.
Great.
Yeah, unfortunately my sons all had to have it to keep their jobs and support their families, so now they're coming after our kids, so hands off our kids.
Hands off our kids.
So I come every week and I've just got my daughter-in-law for her first protest, so boost the numbers.
How brave do you think a politician's got to be to get between a feisty grandmother and her grandkids?
You'd be pretty stupid if you did, eh? So no, keep fighting. It's a great turnout yet again.
And have you lost your job or anything?
Yeah, KFC. Yeah, I lost that job. But I'm sort of glad because it's a shit job anyways. But...
So KFC got rid of you for health reasons. KFC for...
But no, but it makes no sense. Yeah, I know.
Fucking hell, most of the fat bastards here would bloody do better not going to KFC.
Yeah.
So why are you here today?
I'm here to protest against the government, really, and our rights to choose. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm not an anti-vaxxer, because I am. We all have a right to choose, but yeah, I have two children with autism at home and one with a severe eating disorder, and she's been locked down for too long. It's had a major impact on her.
Do you think the lockdowns have a more of effect on the autistic kids?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because they're already excluded from society. Now they're even more excluded. So my son has felt pressured to actually get the GB jab twice now, and he's not right. He's had reactions to it, but he had to choose. He's a 17-year-old, with autism, social issues. He's been excluded all his life from the neurotypicals, and now he's even more excluded. He's got his vaccinations, and he says to me, "It makes no difference to me, Mum. People still won't be friends with me because they can't accept me for being different." Yeah, I said, so you've potentially impacted your health and your future forever, because he thought he was doing it to fit in, from pressure, the pressure from society. But being here, we're all fitting in, we all have the same values, we're all feeling the same way, and we can't let that bill pass. It can't happen.
Being here today is the way we can fight, so you're doing the right thing.
Yes, and we can do it without violence. We don't need to be violent. And the police are trying to kind of stand with us, I guess, in a way. Yeah, but I still don't trust them.
Are you hopeful?
Yes, I'm very hopeful. I feel in my heart that the bill won't pass on Tuesday, and I'll continue to come out and do my bit, as will everyone else. And I hope that we get to 1 million today.
Look at this, we got this big fella here.
How you doing?
Where are you from with that accent?
Obviously from Scotland.
He's from Scotland, so we've got a Scottish fighter here today.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Coming off the William Wallace thing.
I don't know, but this is actually the first time I've got a chance to come down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a great cause, and hopefully we're going to have a great turnout today and tell Danris to go get fucked.
Yeah. And why are you here yourself? Have you lost your job or anything?
No, I haven't lost my job. I've been sort of one of the lucky ones, but obviously I was forced to take an injection against my will.
Yeah.
So and I've got a daughter, I'm a single dad, so the choices were just limited, But it's just here to stand for freedom, try and fight against this tyranny that's going on.
And it is tyranny, isn't it?
Absolutely it is, yeah. And this isn't the end, this is the start, that's the problem.
Would you mind speaking for us why you're here today?
Why am I here today?
Yeah, we've just got a camera here.
Good.
First off, I have to clarify something. Are you a Nazi or a fascist? Because that's what they're calling us.
Well, I'm not a Nazi. My father fought the Nazis. And as a fascist, not likely.
And why are you here?
I'm here to stand up for what I believe is the right thing. They're trying to take away our rights, and they have taken away our rights over a number of years. They've been slowly doing it, I don't agree with this mandate. It's wrong. You should have a choice of what you put in your body. And as for building this second-tier society, it is wrong on so many levels. It's not Australian, never will be. And these people want power, and that's all they're after. They have no interest in us, none whatsoever.
So you don't believe the hype that that's all for our health and they care?
This is not about health. Never has been about health. This is about control. All about control.
Yeah.
They want it, and they're prepared to do almost anything to take it.
Yeah.
And as Andrews has looked at there, he's willing to do any sort of backdoor deal, and if he can't do a backdoor deal, he will just do it anyway. I mean, they have contravened so many different regulations, legislations from both federal and state. And you've got a governor.
What's your thoughts on the Prime Minister?
He's as weak as piss, mate. He abrogated responsibilities to the states right back when this started. He wants them to do his dirty work, and then he just stands back and says, well, I didn't do it. You know? It's the other guys. But he's a marketing man, and that's all he's good at. As a leader, no balls. None whatsoever. As far as I'm concerned, the sooner he's out of politics, the better I'll be. And as for these other politicians who are not standing up, then what are they going to stand for? They're not going to stand up for the people now, then they don't deserve to be in Parliament.
So they're going to be the generation of parliamentarians who gave away our democracy?
They are indeed. And they'll be judged accordingly. Every single one of them. Most people think that supporting democracy in Australia is simply going along every 2 to 3 years, 4 years, casting a vote. I've done my bit. Well, you haven't. You haven't done your bit. Not at all. Democracy is far more than that, and it reaches a greater depth than that. But people have just been so apathetic, and the fact that they've become so compliant.
Do you think if we get through this, we might not be apathetic again? We might learn our lesson?
I'd like to think that we've learned a lesson, but if you look back in history, so many times that lesson has not been learned. You know? Then there's so many parallels between what's happening here and what's happened back in the 30s. It's the same thing, you know. And for people to be dobbing people in, that's from the 1930s. Brown shirts, mate. And what's next?
It's not choice, that's force. If you can't feed your family, then, you know, you're forced to do it.
Yeah.
Which I was for the first jab, and I haven't had the second one, and I probably won't.
So you're probably losing your job then?
Yeah, probably.
How do you think our economy and our culture benefits from so many people losing their jobs?
Well, they don't. They don't. You're creating a two-tiered society, and once that happens, it's very hard to go back, and history's shown that across many countries, and that's why you've got people that have come from other countries to Australia, the lucky country, to escape that, and now they're facing it, and that's why we're all here today.
Yeah. Do you believe their numbers that 90% of us are happily double jabbed? Stop laughing, you're laughing.
Probably not, no. If that was the case, then I doubt that they'd be going so hard on it. It's really hard to tell, though, what the truth is anymore.
Yeah.
Who knows what the truth is?
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here.
Thank
it's
you.
very brave. Good on you.
Thank you.
No worries. G'day, boys. Anybody like to speak about why you're here today?
I don't reckon one man's got a right to tell another man he can't feed his family.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the short of it. That's the end of it.
Absolutely.
No matter which way you look at it, that's it. If you can't go out and feed your family, there's something the matter.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
No, that's it.
So taking out just that choice. Well, are you going to be at Ballarat next week? They're going to have the anniversary celebration, the Eureka Stockade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's, I'm not sure where it is. It's on Saturday. It's supposed to be on Friday, but they're putting it on Saturday.
Yeah.
But it should be a big gig. But we're back here now fighting the same friggin' fight.
Say no more, mate. Say no more.
Would you like to speak?
Yes, I will. How are you?
What's your name?
I'm Jess.
Hi, Jess. Why are you here today?
I want choice. Oh, it's a bit brutal.
Bend over, Dan. I'll show you the size does not fit. I love it.
My vaccines have injured my son, and I need choice for me and my
How
family.
badly have they injured you?
I wouldn't. A lot of people have had it worse, but it's still pretty bad. And yeah, just want to put my point across. We
Yeah.
definitely need choice. It's just not right what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just simply you're here for the freedom to choose, which is the
Yeah.
foundation of our freedom.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it should have ever been taken the way it has been.
Yeah.
And I want the freedoms back.
Are you losing your job at all, or are you getting
I have
any
lost,
other thing?
I've lost jobs. We've had it pretty rough, but a lot of people have. I'm just happy to be with everyone here.
Are you
Feels like family.
Are you surprised that they're not letting us into op shops and stuff like this?
Yeah, yep. I am surprised because even in the lockdowns at the start, you're allowed into Kmart to buy clothing. I can't take my son to get runners if he needs them for anything or simple things like that. It's not okay. Yeah, but hopefully this crowd will put a stop to it soon.
You want to speak at all about why you're here?
Sure. I'm here for freedom.
Freedom.
Freedom is an ethereal value, but if we don't stand up and fight, well, actually reclaim it, then we lose it.
Are you surprised that they took it away?
Not
I mean,
really.
They're throwing it back to us, basically.
Yeah, like little bit by little bit. So, having read 55 pages of the legislation that Mr. Dan Andrews was putting forward, I can see very clearly that it was absolutely just about power and control, and it really isn't about health. So anyone that's ever watches this or hears this who has been a Labor supporter or goes along with their government thinking they can trust them, just imagine in 2 years what a pincushion you will feel like, and your kids and your grandkids.
When you read the bill, are you political or a lawyer or anything, or just...
I've been very apolitical. I am not a lawyer, but I certainly have been gaining more knowledge and self-educating around a lot of things, not just the bill, but the sound money that we should be having. So...
Can I just ask, do you think political apathy, which is what I was, is one of the reasons we've reached here?
I think so. But I suspect that bipartisanism, in its essence, is actually a diversion tactic and a strategy to dilute, and that we tend as humans to argue for the wrong things, the things that are not actually that important. But it's something like this that shows you what is really important. And I think that, you know, we're looking at this jab is not a true vaccine. None of them are. They're gene editing, right? And it's like, well, what are they trying to edit out? Okay, and my view is that what we're seeing now in the freedom rallies all over the world is people's DNA, right through their ancestral lines, epigenetically expressing for the value of freedom, right? Okay, and that is why the suppression is on, because...
But haven't they always been after our freedom? Haven't we been fighting that since, like, the Greeks did democracy? You think if you look through history?
I suspect possibly, but we've never had a technological age like this, which makes mass surveillance a thing. We also have never had digital where currency can be controlled, right? And we've heard people talk about currency, right? But we haven't heard people talk about sound money. So I think it's now, and also all the great religions have a time, whether biblical, it talks about the end times. You know, Buddhists, Hindus, every major religion has a thing, whether it's the Kali Yuga, the confluence age, and it's a time where, you know, out there in the whatever you want to call it, is chaos, right? So we are seeing, or if you want to take it back to the archetypes, the tower in the tarot, right? It's the time of the institutions crumbling. So it's a time where we have to go deep into our own spirit, our own values. We have to connect with whatever.
But the tarot is often a time of rebirth as well.
Absolutely, it's got everything in it, right? It's just that again, people have used it probably for things that it wasn't actually designed for. But that's a whole other conversation.
Why are you here today?
Many different things, the vaccine mandate and to get rid of Dan Andrews and the bill.
Are you happy with apartheid? Do you think it's working for us, segregating our community?
No, it's not. It's damaging families and friendships, and it's actually really sad.
What about the way they're selling us now with the Channel 7, that they're telling us how to have a Christmas without the vaccinated there?
I haven't even actually seen that. That's what Channel 7 is saying.
Yeah.
Stop watching the main. Yeah, I don't watch it.
No,
I just like, yeah, so I have no idea. Yeah, so I have no idea what they say on Channel 7. I don't really care what they say on Channel 7. So it's not the real news. This is the real news. This is where you find out what's going on. So
Are you hopeful for the future?
You know what? With all this spirit of the people, let's keep that rising and let's have hope. You know, we can't lose hope. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? So all got to stick together.
Yeah.
We can do this. We've got children. We're gonna get them to, have a world that they should be living, a good world that they should be living in. So.
Well, I'm actually out here for my children.
Yeah.
They're forcing vaccinations at their school. I've got a stepdaughter that actually made it into a sports academy, and they've actually suppressed that now and forcing her to stand down, obviously due to vaccinations that she requires. So I'm out here just to experience it.
Well, I don't understand that. So if she was good enough to get in,
yes.
If we were doing something like going
without it, yeah.
Without it,
Correct.
so if we were going something like going to the Olympics, we're not sending our best people.
Yes, correct. Yeah, so I don't know. I wanted to come out and march on their behalf.
Why are you here today?
So I'm here because I come all the way from Lismore. I got problems with my health, and the doctors have been coerced not to give us any exemptions or any cards, and I can't even walk the streets without having a mask because of allergy. Wow, basic freedoms are taken away from us. It's nightmarish to think that we in times like this when you can't even have doctors speak for you, and they're terrified to open up and speak. Even my doctor's terrified to come online to say, what he believes in because they've been coerced. Yeah, the medical profession's been coerced. I'm so sad. All of those that have had, stood up and have lost their jobs. So yeah, I'm here to speak for the future of my grandchildren.
Can you believe this is Australia?
No, freedom fighting in Australia. If you told me this 5 years ago, I said, what? Australia freedom fighters? No, we are the ones that, are the first one when human rights are trampled on. We are there going rah, 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 rah. And all of a sudden, we are being trampled on now. Yeah. And, people who don't know what's going on in society, and then they're told, you can't do this, you can't do that, so they don't have any choice but just to follow along because they don't know any better. So you've coerced those people in doing things they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So sad. You intelligent people there, you people who think you know better than us, have a look for yourself. Are you happy only listening to one side of the story? Because that's all you're getting, one side of the story. Be open and listen to both sides and then make your judgment. Not just listen to the media on TV. If I didn't believe that the media wasn't there for us, I believe it now because I've seen it myself, where they do not show what is actually happening. When Channel 10 came and only saw one side of the crowd, and I was there, I saw that with my own eyes.
Yeah.
They were trying to show only half of it, like every street from Flinders Station to here was full of people. I'm so upset.
No, it's
So
okay.
I'm so passionate that I can't think straight. How can you not thinking people not believe this?
Do you think they're scared and they're giving in because they're scared?
Yes, fear has conquered. I'm not angry with anybody because fear has got them and you can't blame them when they don't understand what is going on when there's so many shit stories out there. And people, fear has gripped them, and what can we say? If you make a decision with fear, you're not making the right one. If you get only your information on the media, on the idiot box, you're not getting both sides of the story. I swear to God, you're not. I listen to everybody's choice. All I want you to do is give them a choice.
educate them and then give them a choice, not just grab people and coerce them and say, you can't go here, you can't go there. So, okay, I got to work, I got to pay my bills, so I'm going to do this. So they've been coerced to the max. This is not right, people. Come back here and see this. 40 years ago I came, everybody had everybody's backs. Where's that gone?
Where did you come from, the Philippines or somewhere?
No, I come from Malaysia.
Malaysia?
Yep, 40 years, exactly 38 years ago. I was here and I found this so welcoming Australians. You know what I mean? I work in the kitchens here in Melbourne. 28 years in the kitchens of Melbourne, from a larder girl up to a cook and a chef, doing all that sort of stuff and worked around the straps to see this. I was thinking, we are in Australia and we need freedom fighters. Come on, please wake up. We've been there for all the inhuman things that have been happening for the world. I want those people back. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody stand up for what's right. The idiot box is not telling you both sides of the story. Please wake up, please. I beg you, I implore you. We're here with love. So many nice people here doing the right thing, standing up for every freedom. Every one person that stands here, you got 5 or 10 people that they're not.
That's correct.
So come on down. Every single body counts. So come on down. Thank you.
My girlfriend and myself, we're both grandmothers, and we do not. Yes, we're grandmothers, and we totally object to this bill. It's giving too much power to one person. I still don't think anything that they've done during these lockdowns has been the truth. No one's covering the truth except for you independent media, who I watch avidly. So you, Real Rakshan, Avi, Morgan, all of them, we watch them. And we've been coming to the protest for the last few weeks. And we want to say that we're for the people and adult choices for adults. We don't need our children dictated to by the government. We want to do it for our own children and our own grandchildren.
Well, shouldn't it be our choice as parents?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Are you surprised that they have the audacity to get between a grandmother and a grandkid?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and between doctor-patient relationship.
Atrocious.
I mean, they're frightening doctors. The doctors can't actually do what's right for us.
And I've spoken to my doctor about this, and she has said that she cannot speak about it because, they have this APRA mandate that they don't speak or they investigate it. And I just want to say a real thank you to Dr. in Sunshine that is standing up for people's rights and his own privacy and his own practice.
Oh, the one that got the...
I've just forgotten his name.
The one that got his papers taken away.
Correct. And we support you 100%. And we love you and we love exactly what you're doing, so help the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why are you here today?
For my children and my great-grandchildren. I couldn't live with my...
Great-grandchildren?
I've got a great-grandchild.
Wow.
Turning 1 tomorrow. Yep. And I'm the nana, and we're here to fight for the future of our children.
Do you think they're in trouble once they get the mothers and the grandmothers rolled up? Or the great-grandmothers?
Hell yes. They haven't seen me yet.
I think they've maybe underestimated that part of the population.
If they think they're fearing the men, I tell you now, they should be quaking in their boots for the women.
And where have you come from today?
I come from in the eastern suburbs, down in Kilsyth, and I'm also a nurse that's not working. Last year's hero.
Last year's hero, now you're the villain.
Yep, that's right.
Do you hear today that they started sacking paramedics yesterday for a breach of conduct or something?
Really?
Gross breach of conduct for not having the vaccine.
Wow, that's just crazy. It picked up everybody last year without any protection, without any vaccine or anything else, and they were heroes, absolute heroes. We all stood in our driveways and clapped for them. Dan said, let's show our appreciation. So we did, but now they're vilified. I come from the New South Wales border this morning.
Oh, wow, really? Where?
Absolutely. 30 kilometres from Albury-Wodonga.
Wow, fantastic.
Yep.
And yourself?
I come from Ringwood. Yeah.
And you're here for the same reason?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I'm a healthcare worker, have been for the last 40 years off and on. So, yeah, now without a job.
Well, even when it comes to, say, the nursing homes, I mean, the nursing homes need workers who know the old people and care for them, and now they're getting rid of them, and I just wonder how they're being cared for.
Yeah, they're bringing in overseas untrained workers that don't know what they're doing. It's going to be a real disaster.
How can they say it's for our health and a caring society when it seems to be they're getting rid of all the people who actually care?
Yeah, nothing to do with health. It's all about the politics, all about the money, whatever's driving it from overseas. That's our real worry.
We've signed up to the UN. We signed up as a country to the UN. Whatever the UN mandates, we have to go along with as a country. It's all documented, anybody can see it, but nobody, if we think we have sovereignty of our country at the moment, we don't. There is no sovereignty of country. It's whatever they prescribe, and they've said we've got a pandemic worldwide, so we have to go by their rules no matter what.
Now I have to ask before we go, they call us right-wing Nazis and fascists. So which one's which?
Oh, I'm all of it. I'm all of it. Just label me with everything.
You're in the Nazi party?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Right. Oh, definitely. I'm the most political person on the planet, but my father had to be apolitical because he worked for the government, whichever government was in power.
Yeah, okay.
And he would turn in his grave if he saw what was happening now.
It's unbelievable that this is Australia.
I can't believe it.
Oh, well, on the other side it's good because we're fighting.
We're fighting. Hopefully, everyone needs to wake up. They need to wake up about this vaccine. It's absolutely bad news. It's a disaster. Not even a vaccine. Medical experiment. And by the way, saw you in Bendigo last night.
Yeah, it was really good.
You were fantastic. It was really good.
Jamo's here somewhere. He's always late.
He's gone.
I don't know where he is.
Well
we'll
done.
Bump into him. Thank you very much, girls.
Yeah, well done.
Welcome to the fight. Hi, would you like to speak? Would you like to? We just want to ask why you're here. What compels you to come and fight today?
Well, we've got to stand up for everyone, don't we?
Yeah, we
do. The people that aren't getting a voice and the
Even
people...
the ones that don't get it yet or have the courage to stand
Well, that's
up.
it. I mean, you can't... You're only going to be awake. My voice might be loud, but... Yeah. You're only going to... you can only wake at a certain awareness, and when you get there, then you learn a bit more, then you learn a bit more. So you sort of got to accept that some people aren't going to see what you see because they haven't lived your life, they haven't seen what you've seen, read what you've done. So
do you think this is about health or you think it's about control?
Well, it's got nothing to do with health, really. I mean, I haven't worn anything, done anything. Most of the people I know don't. If it was about health, we'd be being told, let's exercise, let's get nutrition.
That's right.
Have some wellness. We've got this whole thing about all mental health and all that sort of stuff, and we've made the focus on mental health when really it's not about mental health, it's about living.
Yeah.
Like we're focusing on the wrong thing. You focus on something that is perceived as a negative, that becomes the focus and you get more of it.
Yeah.
Start focusing get on the nutrition, get on the wellness. You can have a beer, you can do all those sort of things, but it's balance.
Yeah. It's even the interesting thing with the kids, that the kids don't need psychiatrists, they need each other.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's pictures in your head. Change the pictures, change how they look to you, everything changes. Change your thinking, change your life. It's that simple.
Yeah.
We've got all these things where it's, let's get a drug. The drugs are developed from the chemicals that your body already makes. Yeah. Everything that was here is always here. Everything that's going to come is already here. It's just a thought away. Change your thoughts, everything starts changing.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at it, there's people that are going to be in the same family and there's going to be one side who's going to say do this and one side is going to say no, freedom, everything, you've got to do this. It's the same family upbringing. They've got the same resources available, they've got the same input, when really it's just a perception of what they see, so then that goes from there. The same thing with people that have alcoholic fathers or mothers, or it's a choice.
Yeah.
Whether you think it's a choice or not, once you realise that you have a choice, then you can make a choice.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And choice is the foundation of our freedom.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, really, you got to think that I can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do it.
No, that's right, and that's the difference. What's happening now? They're saying you've got no choice. Surely you have no choice. You're a slave.
Yeah, exactly. Used to be in my growing up day, you could have an argument with someone and then you'd have a beer with them or, you know, shake hands and go, all right, well, we just don't agree.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay not to have the same ideas.
But now you throw it out of your family.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Yeah. So but the thing is, it comes down to everybody's outsourcing their beliefs and you know, obviously something like this is huge. It's great, but it is still up to the individual to be the person that they want to be, because then they will radiate and then the energy will grow, and then you get the collective like this. We've got every walk of life, age, disability, you know, religion, anything. But the thing is, everyone's being who they are by coming here. They've said enough's enough, and so they're standing up.
Yeah, good on you, mate.
Yeah, you too, man. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing it. What's
Yeah,
your
cheers,
name?
mate. Stuart.
G'day, Stuart. Cheers, mate.
I made like 200, so I got like a whole bag full.
I'll get you in a sec.
It's outrageous that people were bulldozed into having it done. So many people here today are vaccinated and are cross about it. You never hear that in the media.
No.
And the media, like I came last week, and I talked to so many people who are just as sensible and level-headed as I am. And then, of course, I watched the news that night, and they only talk to the bad people, like one or two people, and they're all like...
I think they look for them.
Of course they do.
Well, do you think the media's on our side, or
No.
do you feel they're an enemy of the people?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say an enemy of the people, but they only want sensation. They're not interested in level-headed reporting. You know, what sells?
Yeah.
This doesn't sell because it's fair and it's peaceful. No one's hurting anybody.
Yeah.
But no one's going to report that because it's not fun.
Well, we are.
Sensational. Well,
Yeah.
you know. I don't know how
So
many
there's
people
no
are
violence
here.
here at the moment that I've seen.
Well, I haven't seen any at all.
Apart from him.
Pow.
Thanks for talking.
No worries.
G'day, mate.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Good. You want to talk about why you're here?
Oh, we're just here for the kids, mate. We're here for our grandkids.
Yeah.
We're here for the Indigenous people up in Northern Territory.
Oh, that's amazing. It's so hard to know what's going on because one side tells one story, one side tells the other, and it's very polar opposite.
Well, that's right, but you've got to stand with the people, though.
Yeah.
Not the government, so, because the governments are just going to tell you lies anyway.
Yeah, well, that's right.
You know?
I mean, they've been lying to us for years now.
Well, that's right. I mean, we grew up, you know, we're not like our grandparents who grew up in the wars and that. We just grew up, born into this freedom.
Yeah.
And we fell asleep.
Yeah.
You know, we've never experienced a civil get-together against the politicians in our lifetime.
No.
So it's all new. So Dan Andrews, he shouldn't have woken us up because,
Well, would you say we're waking up at the moment?
we're waking up, mate. We're waking up, and he shouldn't have woken me up, I tell you.
And we're a bit pissed.
We're very pissed.
Yeah,
Absolutely, you know, but it's about our freedom, our bodies, our choice, our kids, you know, and the government just needs to back off and just, you know, we need to sack this government. You
Well,
know.
I always thought maybe the government should go back to just fixing roads and collecting our bins.
Well, that's right. Community governments.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people are talking now. You know, everybody does a 4-year conscription into the government, do their 4 years, get rid of the poly-lifers.
That's a good idea.
You know, because they're making a career out of making money.
Yeah.
You know, so let the people make the decisions, do their 4-year term.
Great. Why are you here today?
I'm here because I've never been so concerned about our personal freedoms and our personal rights, which are being totally trampled on.
Yeah.
With these vaccine mandates in particular. In particular, to vaccinate children is criminal.
Yeah.
Absolutely criminal. There is no justification for that whatsoever.
And especially as it doesn't affect them, so you're only doing it to protect the 80-year-olds.
Well, that makes it even worse, you know. So that's why I'm so concerned. That's why I'm here today, particularly.
Do you think the 80-year-olds would want all the kids vaccinated to protect them?
No, absolutely not. Good point. Good point.
You think that?
No, it's an absolute hoax and a setup to try and get rid of us.
What's on the other side?
Free our kids, no vaccines. Power to the people.
Yeah.
And all you need is love.
And the interesting thing that I think, as we're learning this, because we've never had totalitarianist takeover before, is what they want is our freedom of choice. And choice seems to me to be the foundation of freedom. What do you think about that?
It's one of the vital aspects of the bedrock of our democracy is the freedom of choice. It's essential. Once that is taken away, then we are totally screwed.
We're slaves.
Yeah, slaves, because these guys have everything already. The only thing they don't actually have is us as people, and now they're going for that.
And they seem to be after to crush our spirit. Have you sort of known?
Everything, just control. It's simple control. It's a disgrace. There's no hope if you follow them. There's no future unless you're against them.
Have you ever thought, that you'd see segregation and apartheid in our country?
No, because it's exactly racism. It's discrimination. It's not racism, but it is discrimination. And it's an absolute disgrace because everything else is being encouraged to be accepted, except for now suddenly this. And join the dots, there's only a few, and they make a big question mark.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Well, my family and I fled from Europe back in 1956 during the Hungarian uprising.
Oh yeah, wow.
And so I'm kind of a little bit perhaps more aware of what's going on here today because of that experience. I was quite young, but my parents, certainly told me a lot about what actually led to that whole situation in Hungary.
Yeah. They were brutal in their put down of that rebellion.
Well, they used tanks.
Yeah.
The Russians used tanks. A lot of young Hungarians were killed in that uprising because of the Russian tanks. Okay, so at the moment, Andrews hasn't started using tanks yet.
But he has, he does have armoured vehicles.
Rubber bullets, that's right. The next step is a lot more lethal.
He's got 4 of them.
Right, yeah. What, tanks?
4 armoured vehicles. They call Bearcats.
I fear that next year it's going to get worse. This is just like a little reprieve, a bit of a, to make you feel a bit safer. But I unfortunately really feel and fear this is going to get way worse before it gets.
And yet you're still here. That's a good test of bravery there.
Thank you. Same as everybody else.
Our freedom of choice is a vital part of the bedrock of our democracy. If you stop that, take that away, then there will be blood on the streets.
I'm here because I'm fighting against the bill and the mandates. What Dan Andrews is doing is just so morally corrupt and so wrong, and we need to stand up. We need to say, hey, this is not good enough. How many of us have lost jobs or out of work? And, I haven't worked since mid-October.
So it's affected your life?
Absolutely, yeah.
And what were you doing? What was your job?
I was an admin officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing front desk. And no, sorry, I was working all the way through because I was in an industry that was an essential service and to the building industry. And so, I was the only one who said, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this. So I've been off since 15th of October.
So you're basically punished for your integrity?
Correct, yes.
And how do you think businesses are going to benefit by getting rid of those employees that actually have integrity?
Yeah, well, 3 other office staff members are having to fill in and cover my job as well.
I'm a teacher, a primary school teacher, and I've walked away from a tenure job, so a job for life, because I've been blocked from entering my school grounds because I wouldn't participate in what's going on. And I just want to say to parents and to anyone who values education, think deeper, think about what's happening here, because in doing this, they've removed the critical thinkers from our school. They've removed the people that will stand and fight for your kids on the ground, and it's very concerning. And also have a look at what's happening in New South Wales. They've created a bill to completely decimate the teaching standards in New South Wales and allow anyone, including someone without a teaching degree, to be able to teach.
What?
Think about if that cuts through, and it will come to Victoria and it will go all throughout Australia, what that will do to our education system.
Why do you think they're putting that bill through?
I think they've got a massive crisis because they've got over 10,000 teachers throughout Australia who've walked away, so they don't have enough staff. I think they're desperate.
So they're trying to fill it with anyone?
Absolutely, yeah. But we've got a situation where basically someone who's a cleaner with the Department of Education who goes and gets a working with children check will be teaching your kids.
G'day guys, I'd like to speak about why you're here. It's going to a show called Cafe Lockdown.
Why are we here? We're here because we've had enough of being told what to do and having our rights taken away. I'm a PCA, I've been working in aged care for 10 years and I've lost my job.
Were you working in a nursing home?
No, I was working in a company that facilitated services for people to stay at home.
Oh, yeah.
So I was working there for 10 years, and that's my passion, is taking care of the elderly people. And I've had that right taken away. It's like having a part of my heart ripped out, Those people need us, and we don't have the right to support them anymore. So
How does our society benefit from that?
I don't know how society benefits from that.
How does the health of our society benefit from that?
Well, it doesn't. They've just taken away all these qualified people who are there to care for the sick and the elderly by discriminating against us. We fought and we worked hard during COVID for 18 months. I went to work every single day. I put up with phone calls from distraught clients, parents, providers, and I had the ability to calm them and make them feel confident and safe.
So yesterday's hero, today's villain.
Today's villain. I'm shunted out of the workforce. I no longer have the right to go and earn $1. I've got rent to pay, bills to pay, like millions of other people. We've been so discriminated against, and I'm just so passionate about this movement, and I won't stop.
What's your name, love?
Alison.
Would you like to speak?
I'd love to. What do you want to know?
Why are you here today?
We're not complying. We're not complying. We love our freedom. We've done nothing wrong. We should be allowed to
Has
work.
it affected your life, the mandates and everything?
No, you know why? I won't let it. I believe in God. Everyone believe in something. He's always got your back. Always.
You think this is a spiritual war?
Yes. Everything's spiritual. Remember, there's science and there's God. And it doesn't matter how sick you are, always believe in God first. He's got your back, everybody.
Are you hopeful for the future?
Yes, because I'm going to heaven. I want to be good to everybody and I want to go to heaven. So yes. So whatever happens, but I'm ready to fight too.
Well, you're here.
Well, I'm ready to do what I have to do to protect people. Because I know I can do that.
Good on you. Good on you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you too.
See you. Bye.
Kill that bill!
Kill that bill! Kill that bill!